Hey, here are 5 stupid things I've noticed about Fox News. It's neither fair nor balanced. Fox News' fair and balanced slogan is bullshit for 2 reasons. First, it's not true. Second, it's built on a false dichotomy. Fox considers itself fair and balanced because it often invites pundits and commentators from the right and the left to comment on a given story. But the problem is, political philosophy is not an either-or proposition, and neither is reality. The world is way too complicated for that, and not every story settles into a nice, easy left or right, black or white model. What about the stories that legitimately can be viewed from 3 or 4 or 5 or more viewpoints? What about the stories, few and far between though they are, I admit, that are legitimately one-sided? Fox News does a disservice to these stories by hammering and stretching and pounding them into a left-right model that they don't naturally fit into. So that more often than not, what you end up with are stories where at least one and possibly both sides of the argument are represented by pundits whose grasp of reality and the facts is tenuous at best. Because here's the thing about Fox News. It imposes no journalistic standards on its commentators. The primetime lineup of Fox News Channel doesn't report, comment on, or analyze the news. It manufactures outrage. Remember Reverend Jeremiah Wright, Obama's birth certificate, the Ground Zero Mosque? See, these are stories that would have been relegated to mimeographed underground newsletters 30 years ago. Today, they can be national news. Why? Because Fox News Channel almost never requires that the opinions of its hosts and contributors line up with the facts. And call me old-fashioned, call me a stickler, but I think it's reasonable to expect that a 24-hour news channel would do what it can to ensure that the people it's putting on TV, whether they're reading news copy or whether they're expressing a personal opinion, are telling the truth. And I'm not just talking about the primetime programming here, because one of the worst offenders in this area is a show that's not on in the evening, but in the morning. Fox and Friends. All those invented controversies I just mentioned, Jeremiah Wright, birtherism, the Ground Zero Mosque, and more, all either received their first significant national media attention or at the very least got a major boost in their visibility thanks to Fox and Friends, the daily pre-game show to Fox's recurring lunatic Olympiad. 3 idiots sitting around chattering about right-wing conspiracy theories, taking turns making straw man attacks on liberals, taking the occasional break to be joined by some red-hot current celebrity like Charlie Daniels or Hank Williams Jr., who will also probably join in with the conspiracy talk and straw man attacks. The Today Show looks like See It Now by comparison. Sean Hannity. I could sit here and bitch about how Hannity is a liar and an exaggerator and a disingenuous panderer who appeals to the very worst fears and prejudices of his audience, but the truth is, he doesn't do anything that Glenn Beck or Mike Gallagher or Mark Levin or Laura Ingraham or any of the other Rush Limbaugh wannabe second stringers on TV and the radio do. He's no better or worse than any of them or a dozen other people I could name. What Hannity is proof positive of the power of a good lead-in. Because the truth is, you would never even have heard of Sean Hannity if you hadn't first heard of whoever was on right before him. He's the Suddenly Susan of Fox News. Which brings us to the one personality who alone personifies everything that is wrong with Fox News. Lise Wheel. I'm kidding, it's Bill O'Reilly. O'Reilly calls himself a news analyst, and he draws a line between what he does and what Sean Hannity does. He considers his show to be more hard news based. But let's get real. A given hour of the O'Reilly Factor contains less straight journalism than any random episode of the Kressbeckler Stance. I will agree with O'Reilly on one thing, though. What he does is different from what Sean Hannity and pretty much every other Fox News personality does, because while most of them are in business for the right, the #1 product being pushed by Bill O'Reilly is, and always has been, Bill O'Reilly. We have in O'Reilly a nearly perfect personification of every loathsome trait about Fox News Channel. He's a bully, He never misses an opportunity to crow about his own accomplishments while belittling his less successful competitors, and yet he readily casts himself in the role of the victim when faced with the slightest challenge or criticism. He and Fox News as a whole would have us believe that the rest of the media was both a whiny clutch of liberal elitists and a powerful and malevolent threat to cherished American traditions like Jesus and Fox News and Bill O'Reilly. Or Bill O'Reilly and Fox News and Jesus. The order changes depending on who's talking. The hardest part is only picking 5. Catch you next time. See you next time.